What if everything you're afraid of is just a story you agreed to believe? What if the worry that keeps you awake at night, the hesitation that holds you back, the anxiety that grips your chest, what if none of it was ever truly yours? Pause for a moment. Let that settle. You weren't born clutching fear like a birthright. You didn't come into this world afraid of rejection, failure, or judgment. No infant lies awake at night rehearsing worst-case scenarios. No child questions their worthiness before they've been taught what worth means. You arrived here whole, present, unguarded. And then the world began to teach you. It taught you through a look, a word, a silence that cut deeper than any reprimand. It taught you through the way love was given or withheld, through praise that came with conditions, through punishment that followed curiosity, through the unspoken rules that governed what was safe and what was dangerous, what was acceptable and what would get you cast out. Fear was never your nature, it was your education. And here's what that means. Here's the truth that changes everything. What has been learned can be unlearned. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath, a real one, deep into the belly, slow out through the lips. Now notice, right now, in this exact moment, what are you actually afraid of? Not what you were afraid of yesterday, not what you might fear tomorrow, but right now, in the stillness of this breath, what threat exists? The room is quiet, your heart is beating, air is moving through you. And yet, the mind argues, doesn't it? It pulls you into a story about what could happen, what might go wrong, what you need to control or prepare for. That's not fear. That's the echo of fear, the learned response, the conditioned pattern playing on repeat. And you've been listening to it for so long, you forgot it wasn't your voice.
Let's go deeper. Fear didn't just appear in your life randomly. It was constructed, brick by brick, experience by experience. It built itself a home inside you, and you didn't even realize you were the architect. Think back, not with judgment, but with curiosity. When was the first time you felt the sting of rejection? Maybe it was a friend who turned away, a parent who was too tired, too distracted, too wounded themselves to see you. A moment where you reached out and the world said, "Not now, not you." Your nervous system recorded that, filed it away, created a protocol. Reaching out equals pain, better to withdraw, better to hide. When was the first time you tried something new and failed? Maybe it was public, maybe people laughed, maybe you laughed too, trying to cover the wound with humor, but inside something closed, a door shut. A lesson was written in invisible ink across your psyche. Trying is dangerous. Stay small, stay safe. When was the first time you expressed your truth and it was met with anger, dismissal, or cold indifference? Your authentic self, raw and unfiltered, and the world said, "That's too much, that's not acceptable, change." So you did. You learned to edit yourself, to calculate, to perform the version of you that would be tolerated, loved, accepted. And every time you abandoned yourself to earn someone else's approval, fear grew stronger. Every time you silenced your intuition to follow the crowd, fear carved another groove in your mind. Every time you chose comfort over truth, fear whispered, "See, I told you it wasn't safe." But here's what fear doesn't want you to know. It only survives because you believe it's keeping you alive. Fear convinced you that without it, you'd be reckless, vulnerable, destroyed. It sold itself as your protector, your guardian, the wise voice of reason keeping you from danger. But look closely, really look. How often has fear actually protected you from real danger? And how often has it simply kept you trapped in a smaller version of your life? How many opportunities did you not take because fear said, "What if you fail?" How many connections did you not make because fear said, "What if they leave?" Fear isn't your protector, it's your prison guard, and the door has been unlocked this entire time.
Imagine your mind as a vast sky, infinite, boundless, clear. Now imagine that thoughts are weather, clouds rolling in, storms gathering, lightning flashing across the horizon. Most people spend their entire lives believing they are the storm. They identify so completely with the chaos of thinking, the turbulence of emotion, that they forget there's a sky beneath it all. You are not the storm. You are the sky. The storm is what happens in you, but it is not you. Fear is a storm, a particularly convincing one, yes. It darkens the sky, it shakes the trees, it makes you believe the world is ending. But it is still just weather. It arises, it peaks, it passes. And the sky? The sky remains, untouched, untroubled, eternal. This is the first step in unlearning fear, recognizing that you are not your fear. You are the awareness of the fear, the space in which fear appears. And that space, that consciousness, is infinitely larger than any fear that moves through it. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Now, without trying to change anything, simply notice, is there fear present right now? Maybe there is. Maybe there's a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, a whisper in your mind saying, something's wrong, you're not enough, you're going to fail. Don't push it away, don't argue with it, just notice it. Say quietly to yourself, there is fear present. Not, I am afraid, but there is fear present. Feel the difference? One is identification, the other is observation. When you observe fear instead of becoming it, something shifts. The grip loosens, the intensity softens. You realize you're not drowning in the storm, you're watching it from a place of stillness. And from that place, a question arises naturally. If I am not this fear, then what am I?
To unlearn fear, you must first excavate the layers of conditioning that buried your true self. You must become an archaeologist of your own soul. Dig beneath the surface of your daily thoughts, your automatic reactions, your habitual patterns. Dig past the roles you play, the responsible one, the strong one, the agreeable one. Dig past the masks you wear, the scripts you follow, the identities you cling to. What's beneath all of that? Silence, stillness, a presence that was there before language, before memory, before the world told you who you should be. That presence is who you actually are. Not the fear, not the story, not the wounded child still trying to earn love or the anxious adult still trying to control outcomes. You are the awareness that watches all of it unfold. But to touch that awareness, you must be willing to feel everything you've been avoiding. Because fear didn't just teach you to be afraid of external things, failure, rejection, loss. It taught you to be afraid of your own inner landscape, your own emotions, your own truth. You learned that anger was dangerous, so you suppressed it, and it became resentment, simmering beneath the surface. You learned that sadness was weakness, so you buried it, and it became depression, a heaviness you can't name. You learned that desire was selfish, so you denied it, and it became emptiness, a hunger nothing seems to fill. You learned that joy was risky, so you muted it, and life became gray, mechanical, safe but suffocating. Fear taught you to abandon yourself, to exile the parts of you that didn't fit, to lock away your wildness, your vulnerability, your raw humanity. And now you wonder why you feel so disconnected, so numb, so lost. It's because you're living in a house you built to keep yourself out. But here's the beautiful, terrifying truth. You can come home. Not to the person you were before the fear,
You can't go back. You've learned too much, experienced too much, grown too much. But you can return to the essence beneath the conditioning, the unconditioned self, the part of you that has always been whole, even when you felt shattered. That part of you, it's waiting. It's been waiting this entire time, and it's not afraid.
Unlearning fear is not an event, it's a practice. A daily, moment-by-moment return to presence. It begins with the breath. Not the shallow, unconscious breathing you do while lost in thought, but the deep, intentional breath that anchors you in the now. Breathe in, feel the air enter. Notice the chest expand, the belly rise. Follow the sensation. Breathe out, feel the release. Notice the shoulders drop, the jaw soften. Let go. In this breath, there is no past to regret, no future to fear. Only this, only now. And in the now, fear has no foothold. Fear lives in time. It feeds on the story of what was and the anxiety of what might be. But in the naked present moment, stripped of narrative, there is only what is. And what is rarely the catastrophe fear promised. This is the practice, returning again and again to the breath, to the body, to the present moment. When fear arises, and it will, don't resist it. Don't try to think your way out of it or affirm it away or spiritually bypass it. Feel it. Where is it in your body? Is it a tightness in the throat, a clenching in the gut, a heaviness in the chest? Place your hand there. Breathe into it. Say softly, I see you. I feel you. You're safe here. Because that's what fear really is, a part of you that learned the world wasn't safe, a younger you still holding trauma, still braced for impact, still waiting for the other shoe to drop. It doesn't need to be defeated. It needs to be held, witnessed, reassured. You don't unlearn fear by fighting it. You unlearn it by no longer believing it's the truth. And then the deeper practice, questioning the stories fear tells. If I do this, I'll fail. Will you? Or is that a story? If I open up, I'll get hurt. Will you? Or is that a story? I'm not enough. Are you? Or is that a story? Every fear, when examined closely, is revealed to be a thought. And a thought is not a fact. It's a cloud passing through the sky. You can watch it. You can question it. You can let it move through without attaching your identity to it. And beneath the thought, beneath the story, peace, space, freedom. Here's what happens when you begin to unlearn fear. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop contorting yourself into shapes that earn approval. You start speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. You start setting boundaries, even when it disappoints people. You start choosing what feels aligned, even when it doesn't make logical sense. You become less concerned with being liked and more committed to being real. And something miraculous happens. Life starts meeting you there, in the realness, in the rawness, in the authenticity. The right people find you. The right opportunities appear, not because you're suddenly perfect or fearless, but because you're no longer hiding. You're no longer trying to control every outcome, manipulate every perception, prevent every possible pain. You're living fully, vulnerably, courageously. And yes, there will still be fear. It won't disappear completely. It's part of the human experience. But it will no longer run your life. It will no longer make your decisions. It will be a feeling, not a dictator, a visitor, not a homeowner. You'll feel it, acknowledge it, and then choose anyway. Choose love over safety. Choose truth over comfort. Choose expansion over contraction. Because you've remembered something fear tried to make you forget. You are not fragile. You never were. You've survived every hard moment up until now, every heartbreak, every failure,
every loss, every moment you thought would destroy you, didn't. You're still here, still breathing, still capable of feeling, creating, loving, becoming. And that's not weakness, that's power. The power to feel everything and not be destroyed by it. The power to fall apart and put yourself back together. The power to walk through fire and emerge not unscathed, but transformed. You don't need fear to keep you safe. You need trust. Trust in your own resilience. Trust in your own capacity. Trust in the unfolding of your life, even when you can't see the next step. You need faith, not in some external force, though that's beautiful too, but faith in yourself. Faith that you have what it takes. Faith that you're being guided. Faith that you're exactly where you need to be. And from that faith, from that trust, from that deep knowing, you are free. Free to try and fail and try again. Free to love and lose and love again. Free to be seen, judged, misunderstood, and still choose authenticity. Free to live a life that's yours, not the one fear designed to keep you small, but the one your soul came here to experience.
So here's the invitation. Stop running from fear. Stop fighting it. Stop pretending it's not there. Turn toward it with curiosity, with compassion, with courage. Ask it, what are you here to teach me? Listen, breathe, feel, and then, when you're ready, thank it for trying to protect you, and release it. Release the need to be perfect. Release the need to be certain. Release the need to have it all figured out. Step into the unknown with your heart open and your hands empty. Trust that you are held. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are loved. Not because you earned it, not because you did everything right, but because you exist, because you're here, because you're part of this vast, mysterious, beautiful unfolding called life. You weren't born with fear, you learned it. And now you get to unlearn it. One breath at a time, one choice at a time, one courageous moment at a time, until one day you wake up and realize you're free. You've always been free. You just forgot. And now you remember. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Joseph Campbell. Welcome home.